All right, hey 7th and 8th graders. So I'm gonna just give you a quick, I guess, how to do your survival guide project. So I have up here what I'm going to be sending you. So this is literally your template. So first thing, you can't see it, it's kind of blocked off, but make a copy of this project. These slides right here, first thing before you do anything is make a copy and then insert your name in the title. So where it says at the top corner, survival guide project template, you can then put in, once you've made your own copy, put Ashley's survival guide project template or Ashley's survival guide project. Okay, put your name in it so I know whose it is right away when you send it to me. Okay, so do not work on this one, make your own copy. I cannot express that enough. Okay, so you then, once you've made your copy, you can work right on these slides. Obviously I want you to make it your own, so I want you to get creative, create a background, a theme, different fonts, things like that. But remember, make your fonts big enough to see, make them readable. So don't have a dark background with a dark colored writing. Okay, that's really hard to read. So just make sure that it's easy to read, and think of this as if it's like a digital book, like a digital manual or guide. Okay, something that you would take with you if you were flying in a plane over the wilderness, like if you were just like our character in our book. Okay, so this is your survival guide. This is what you would think would be important to know and have with you if you are our character. Okay, so on the first slide, this is like your cover page. So this would be like the cover of your book or manual. So you need like a title, your author, which would be your name because you're going to be the author, and then some sort of image. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all these, but the second slide, you can delete this obviously when you start your project. But this has all of the links, and obviously it's not limited to just these links. You can go to you can watch YouTube videos on survival. Like I went on YouTube today and I just typed in like survival tactics or survival in the wilderness, and all of these how-to and informational videos come up. So you can just search videos, but these links have a lot of really good information on survival. So you're going to have to do your research. Okay, so not only is this good for your project, but you never know in real life. Now you might not get caught all alone in the wilderness, but maybe in real life you have a situation where you learned a first aid tip, or you learned about something about building a fire from this project, and maybe you can use that in real life. So that's kind of cool. So do your research. I want you to become an expert so that you can share it in your project. Okay, so the next one is a table of contents. So you're actually going to put the name of each slide and what slide number it is, and then I'm going to show you in just a little bit how you can actually link the slide. So all I have to do is click on it and it will send me right to that slide, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But so it's your table of contents, and you can click through. You can actually keep the headings I have on here, and then obviously you can make them prettier or whatever. But so like backpack. So this slide is all about the things you put in your backpack. Okay, the next one, shelter. So you're going to want to label it shelter. It's almost like the title of the chapter or the heading for each page, right, in your book. So shelter. So then this whole slide is going to be about shelter. Now you could, I know some students in the past, especially for the food one, they made 2 slides for it because you need to include foods that are safe to eat and foods that are unsafe. So like they made 2 slides. So one slide was about all the safe things in the wilderness that are safe to eat, that you should eat. And then on the other slide, they did all the things that were unsafe. Or another group did all of the safe and unsafe like animals or like living things. And then on the next slide, they did all of the more like plant type living things that are safe and unsafe. So you can decide. So if you want to add an extra slide for this category, that's fine. Just remember, up in your table of contents, then you might want to put like food is slides 6 and 7 or something like that. Okay, so that we know. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to actually show you an example of a student who did it in the past. So this is what theirs looks like. Now they got to do it in groups. because obviously different situation and circumstances. But they also were expected to do a lot more, and they had to do a lot more research. So you guys, it's kind of condensed a little more for you, because you probably will be doing it all on your own since you're at home by yourself. So this is Jacob, Emma, Ellie, and Blake's. Okay. So this is their cover. You know, they did a cool like wilderness background. They came up with a clever title. So You're Lost, ... the Survivor Manual. So you can title it whatever you want. Some groups just titled it Survival Guide or Survivor Manual. That's fine too. But you come up with a title and then the author. Okay, so the table of contents. So I already did one here. So they didn't do this, but I did it just to show you. So the one that's underlined, survival pack, and then ... they went all the way. And so that's slide 4. So it's underlined now. So that means like if I were to click on it, so I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to present on this device. It takes a little while to load. But if I were to show you, all I'd have to do is just click it and it will literally send me right to that slide. So I'm going to click it and it will send me straight to slide 4, survival pack. Boom. There you go. Okay. So that's kind of a nice feature, especially for me reading through them at home. So if you would like to do that, I'm going to show you how. Okay. So let's do shelter next. Okay. So I clicked on it. I'm going to double click and hold down and select shelter. And I actually want it to be, oops, I want it to be all of this. That's going to be linked. Okay, so once you do that, it pops up insert link. So I press insert link. Then it says slides right here. So I'm going to click the arrow down. So when I click on it, the arrow will go down. So slides. And if I scroll down shelter, it even is going to be labeled because they have their headings already in. But it is on slide 5. So I just click slide 5 and press the check in the top corner, and there you go. Now it's linked. Okay, so it actually links your slides. So you don't have to just link a website. You can actually link your own slides in your presentation, which is kind of cool. So if you want to include that, that would be great in your table of contents. So you can see their table of contents. Their cover is slide 1, table of contents is slide 2, their introduction is slide 3, and so on and so forth. Okay. They had to do a works cited too on slide 15, but again, you guys do not have to do that. Okay. So here's our introduction. It's just kind of like, so why are you reading our manual? What is this all about? Why is it reading? So they added a little bit of their own voice in it, which I thought was really good. So you can kind of look at that and pause it if you want to read it. So their survival pack, so you can kind of look through. They had a visual. They listed. I said for you 5 to 10 things. I'd probably pick 10 just because I think it will help you in the long run. For shelter, so think about it. You can't include things of how to build a shelter unless it's in your backpack or it's in nature. So you can't say, oh, grab a tent. Well, if you don't have a tent in your backpack, then obviously you're not going to be able to put that on the shelter slide. So it all comes back to what you have with you in your survival or backpack. Okay. Also keep in mind with your backpack, it has to fit in a normal size backpack. So like think of a school bag, a school backpack that you wear on your back, okay, with the 2 shoulder straps. That's a backpack. It's not a duffel bag, it's a backpack. So probably me saying like a tent, you can't fit that in a backpack. So that's not going to be something that you'd bring along. Okay, so think about what could you fit in your book bag and stuff that wouldn't be so heavy, because remember you have to carry it around through the wilderness. So you don't want bricks in there, right? Okay, so shelter. So they included 2 slides about shelter. Their food, they have visuals. They went by categories, but you can do it however you'd like. And this is where they did edible, not edible. So like things that you can eat, and then visuals obviously are really good here. Because like, for example, not edible, that plant, I don't know what it is. Hopefully they explained it somewhere in the slide above, but now I know what it looks like. So that's obviously important to having a guide, because while I'm walking through the wilderness, I might want to look at my guide and be like, oh, can I eat this berry or not? Right? So it talked about keeping water safe, how to build a fire, your clothing. So they listed basic first aid tips, hypothermia, and then you don't have to do the works cited, but so all of these things they learned from doing the research, from looking up the links and videos of the things I sent you on your slide, okay? So this is their presentation. I'll quick show you one more example. So this one's Eli, Lydia, and Olivia. Okay, so again, I showed a link there for their table of contents, introduction, their backpack. I said that they could put 11 things because they included the 11th being their survival manual. They're like, well, we want to put our survival manual in there. I said, okay, that's fine. You can do 11. So if you want to do up to 11, that's fine. The shelter, what to eat, what not to eat. So they included 2 slides on that, and pictures, very important. Water, fire, clothing, and first aid, and then hypothermia at the end. So, okay, so there you go. There's are just some examples of how to do your survival guide project. So you're going to actually create it off of this slide, making a copy, and then you get to design it, make it look cool. And I include on every one what is expected of you. Okay, so you are getting points for every single slide. So if you delete a slide or you forget a section, that's losing like 10 points off your project. So it's worth quite a few points. This is like your last project of the year, okay? So make it count. Make sure that you learn a lot. Go to these links. Read. You don't have any vocab for the next 2 weeks, so this is what you're doing instead, okay? So use your time wisely. Let me know if you have any questions at all about this, okay? But hope you have fun and learn a lot. Maybe you never know. This could come in handy someday. See you guys.